What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. So today, as you can see, we got a new setup here. So if you've been following along on my channel for even just a few months, you will know that I all season have been shooting well, for the most part all season, get this a little farther away from the fire. I've been shooting a Hoyt Alpha X 30. So now, as you can see, that's not a Hoyt, that's a Matthews. And I think I said from the beginning when I did my Hoyt video, I think I said already that I was planning on switching back to Matthews anyway. So, little history of my bows. I started out bow hunting when I was, I think, 9. It was either 9 or 10. My dad bought me a PSE Stinger X. It was I actually still have the bow. Would love to do it. I might do a video sometime of seeing about hunting with it again. But that bow lasted me for, I want to say, about 5 years. So 4 or 5 years. When I was 15, I bought a Matthews V3. It was the year they came out, and that really opened my eyes to just how good these new bows in general shot. It was a V3 27, and I shot that bow for, I think, 2 years. And in those 2 years is when I really got way bigger into archery. That's when I started filming my hunts and making YouTube content. And so I was also paying attention to a lot of other people out in the industry, maybe. And so, of course, my biggest influence I felt like was going to be Seek One. It was Chris B, the Drurys, Lee Lakosky. Those were my main guys I was always watching. And of course, as we all know, now all those people are shooting Matthews. I mean, Chris B already was shooting Matthews at that time. So was the Lakoskys. And it was right around that time that the Drury switched, and then last year C1 switched. So I don't know. I decided to switch to Hoyt last year just because the guys there in my bow shop, they really thought, dude, you should try it. These things are actually really, really good. And then I was also a big fan. I still am a big fan of Cameron Haynes. And so I was like, well, hey, why not? So I went ahead and got the Hoyt. And to be honest, I really enjoyed the bow. It shot amazing, but as a person that shot a Matthews, I also went and got the Phase 4 the year it came out. So I had gone through already 2 different Matthews bows. So I was very accustomed to how a Matthews shot, and so that's one thing I want to say about talking about this is shoot a bow that makes you feel good, or that you feel good shooting. You feel the most comfortable, and so that's for me. Matthews is that bow. Now I shot Hoyt for a year, and I can honestly say it's an amazing bow company. Seriously, they do some seriously good work. They make one heck of a bow. But for me, I just had to go back to Matthews. Now, fast forward to this year, November, I want to say it was 19th, the new Matthews Lift X came out. So I went into the bow shop and ordered my Lift RS. And so now it's Christmas week. It is December 28th, and here I am with my new bow. So I went into the bow shop the other day, and I asked my bow guys, like, hey, when are these new bows coming in? Because he had said it was probably going to be around New Year's, and I figured, well. And he's like, honestly, I talked with Matthews just the other day, and he said, they told us we're not going to be able to get new bows till March. So I said, yeah, forget that. I'm not waiting anymore. So I went ahead, and this is just the Lift, regular Lift. This is the 29.5. Now, normally I used to not be a big fan of black. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was not a big fan of black. But this year I decided, well, hey, first of all, it was kind of the only option I had. They had a black, and they had the earth color. And if I'm being honest, if I wanted to do earth, I wanted to do a mix with black. So I just decided to go straight black. I'm going to get new strings put on it here soon as well, because I like a little bit of color. You know, it's just me. But yeah, as of now, this is the Matthews Lift 29.5. I've got the low pro quiver. This is the fixed quiver, so this one does not come off. I've got the little engaged stands. I've got red line stabilizers. So I've got a 10-inch, or no, it's a 12-inch front bar and a 6-inch back bar. No, that's an 8-inch back bar. Sorry. I've got an HHA Tetra 2-stack single pin adjustable. So I've also got the Q80 Ultra Integrated Rest. This bow is in 80-pound mods, so it's zipping. Arrows setup wise, I'm shooting Easton Sonics. These are 6 mils, high velocity. So this bow it's cooking. I'm shooting a 29-inch draw length, so it's shooting about 322, 23 feet per second is what I chronoed it at. So yeah, it's about as simple as it gets. That's my bow history. Not like I had to go through all that, but I just want to point out the fact that like y'all may think I'm very biased towards Matthews. I'm not. Maybe a little bit, just because that's what I'm shooting. But I have tried other bow brands, and I just keep coming back to Matthews. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead, put some reps through it, and show you guys how this thing shoots. And yeah, so I'm sure like most people are probably thinking, well, this is kind of lame because you didn't get the Lift X. Now, I have gone in. The bow shop had 3 Lift X's to shoot. They had one of each size. They had the 29, they had a 27 and a half, they had 29 and a half, and they had the 33. But they were just the bows they have there at the shop for people to see and shoot. So they weren't going to sell those to me. So I elected just to go with the Lift, and with shooting the Lift X and the RS as well, I shot all those bows quite a bit. And to be honest, these bows still shoot the same. And honestly, the only thing that Matthews did different in the Lift X over just the regular Lift like this is everybody knows they put in a new tuning system and they got different drifts. But other than that, the cam stayed the same except on the Lift XD, which is for bigger, longer draw length people, so the cam's bigger on it. But I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's still the same style of cam, it's just bigger. But anyways, we're going to just start shooting a little bit, show you guys how she shoots, and maybe talk about it. Let's get into it. So that's one thing I will say, and I'm gonna be just 100% real with you guys. From switching back to Matthews from Hoyt this last season, I'm just gonna go through some of the things that I like more about the Matthews, but also I'll point out some pointers that I do like about the Hoyt. Biggest thing that I really like about switching back to Matthews here is I know Hoyt ended up going back, or not back, but I think they did it this year with their new RX9 excuse me, and their Alpha AX2 was they started making a shorter bow. And now I know the Hoyt I had last year was a 30 axle. But that doesn't mean their riser was smaller than the Matthews, but I like 30-inch and smaller bows, to be honest. But that's also me. I'm a southern hunter. I do most of my hunting out of a tree stand in a saddle, and I just like a shorter axle bow. So that's one thing. I went and ordered the Lift RS, which is a 27 and a half. Mainly I was so excited for that smaller axle. Also makes for more speed. Now some people would argue the fact that it's not as accurate out to longer range. Honestly, I haven't found that personally, but that's also just me. And another thing is with the Matthews is they're so quiet. So that's probably got to be my biggest thing. But I will say the one thing I loved about the Hoyt was, now I know it's different for everybody, but I will say their draw cycle is really smooth. I know a lot of people think that is the best thing about the Hoyt is their draw cycle. For me personally, I see where people like it so much, but for me it doesn't work as good. I'm more of a person, so as you see with the Matthews, you're drawing, you have this hard spot right here. As soon as you get over it, you settle back into that back wall, and you're just, you know, it's not going anywhere. Now, the thing I had with the Hoyt that I wasn't such a big fan of was when you get in that back wall, it's such a small back wall. I felt like I had to hold the whole, now I had it set at 85% let off, and I felt like I still was holding a ton of weight, and I ended up being very, very jumpy when I shot my Hoyt. Now, that's one thing I've so far fixed for the most part with my Matthews, but as far as just draw cycle all the way through, the Hoyt was extremely smooth. I love that about that thing. And it was fast. Now, I was shooting a 450 grain arrow. These arrows here are still over 400 grain arrows. I'm shooting, now the Matthews, technically, if you go 80 pounds for how much weight I was shooting, even my old arrow setups, Matthews is about 5 feet per second faster still. But, yeah. So, but I'm trying to think what else to really touch on. There's not a crazy ton more to touch on, except for all I could say is literally, if you're a new archer, go to your bow shop, shoot every bow they have in there, because every bow might be different. Like, personally, my bow shop, they sell, they're dealers of Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, Bear, I'm trying to think what all they have, Darton, so that would be Outdoor Junction, Cookeville, Tennessee. So go ahead, check them out if you're in the area. They're amazing. Jared and Bill, they run the bow section, do phenomenal work. So yeah, that's, just go shoot every bow you possibly can. Get a feel for it, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. So that would just be me. Or that's my word of advice for it. So yeah, and then that's the thing, is one thing I would I know not everybody's going out there to spend a crazy ton of money on a bow. I mean, that bow setup cost me around $2,000. So if you're going to get one of these flagship bows, Hoyt, Matthews, whatever it may be, they're definitely going to run you a little bit, a decent bit more than any other bows, but it's the price you pay. I mean, so if you're a beginner archer, I'm going to suggest don't go buy one of these flagship bows like this, because you may not even like hunting archery, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, everybody's going to be different. So, you know, everybody's got a different preference. You may not like archery, and here you are stuck with a $2,000 bow. I literally know people who have done that. They ended up not liking archery after one season, and they lost a ton of money, because how it goes is, after a bow company makes a new bow, every year these bow companies make a new bow, then your bow that you had from last year decreases in value at least $500. It's the same principle with vehicles. So I would suggest, if you're going to start bow hunting, if you're just getting into it, my suggestion would be start out the same way I did. I mean, for me, as my dad bought me this cheap little PSC Stinger X for my birthday, and that bow, I still have it, like I said, lasted me a long time. Now, you can get some of these newer bows. I mean, I'll just say Bear. If I'm being honest, I'm the biggest hater of Bear, but that doesn't mean they're a bad bow. I just like hating on them because I like hating on them. I really don't know. I really have no good reason to hate on Bear. But like, they making a phenomenal. Yeah, there we go. Phenomenal bow. For a decent price. I think you can get a fully set up hunting rig for like $700, which this thing, Bear bow, not including accessories, is $1,200. So, you know, but you buy a bow like this in your maybe 3rd or 4th year of archery, and you really get a feel for what a amazing, extremely good quality bow is. I'm not saying bear is a bad bow. I'm not saying that, but they don't compare to these. That's just my opinion. I've shot several bears as well, just because that's what they had there at the shop, and I spent a lot of time at my bow shop, just talking and just learning more about bows. I'm very intrigued by bows. I'm actually, Lord willing, hoping to start working at a bow shop here soon. So yeah, but I think that's all I got to really say about this here new bow and everything. So enjoy this montage of me slinging arrows and goofing off, and yeah, I think we'll close the video with that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. That'll be JH Outdoors. So, and yeah, so anyways, like I said, like, subscribe. Just always remember to live your life live your life every day as if it's your last, because every day is a gift. God gave us a gift every time we open our eyes to wake up in the morning, and never forget that. It's the most underrated blessing we as humans get every day, and just make sure to thank God every day that you're alive and awake, and you have another day to honor, glorify Him, and show others His love. So, anyways, gonna get to shooting this a little bit more. Peace out, people.